Yo, what is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm talking 9 Perfect Strangers, a new miniseries on Hulu that debuted on August 18th, I believe, and it's being released weekly. I'm up to episode 4 now, the latest episode. Episode 5 comes out September 1st, I think. But I just want to tell you about it, tell you if it's worth watching, tell you my thoughts on it so far. And then once the new episodes come out, I'm going to do a YouTube video on all those, and we'll be able to talk about it and try to keep up with it. But the series is based on a best-selling novel. It's pretty much about 9 strangers who go to this health and wellness resort, and they each come with their own baggage and trauma, and they're all going there for some sort of transformation. It's led by this woman named Masha, played by Nicole Kidman. She's going to be leading them through this transformation, trying to heal them, trying to cure them of the baggage, and just pretty much lead them through this whole transformation process. Obviously, there's some dark undertones to everything that's going on here, and through each episode, we kind of get a little glimpse at what's really going on behind the scenes. Let me just start by highlighting the main reason on why I really even wanted to watch the show in the first place, and that's the cast. I mean, you got star-studded cast here. You got Nicole Kidman, who everyone knows, Michael Shannon, who I think everyone sort of knows nowadays, Melissa McCarthy, Samara Weaving. I only saw her in Ready or Not, and she blew me away in that movie. That's such an underrated horror movie of 2019. Luke Evans, who everyone kind of recognizes as the villain in Fast Furious 6, and a couple others that you'll recognize also. But the performances are all really good. I would say Michael Shannon is the real standout. His trauma is sort of that his son killed himself, and so both parents struggle with it. But Shannon is the better actor, and he has more scenes where he's able to show kind of how he blames himself and everything that comes with that. And his story is most interesting, I think, for me so far. And the cinematography is great. The location they chose for this set is really beautiful, the whole resort. But the cinematography is really on point, and the score is also good. It kind of fits the whole vibe of the show, this sort of creepy thing. So let me tell you I'm not going to break down each episode. I'm just going to tell you my thoughts out loud. The first episode I thought was really good. I think it was a strong start. It's sort of really introduction phase. We're just introduced to all the different characters, seeing how they all meet each other coming into this place, and just being introduced to everything. But there was this mysterious element to it all, and I was kind of intrigued to see where this show would go, because I kind of thought this would be a And Then There Were None story. If you ever read that book, it's one of the best murder mystery novels of all time. Short synopsis: it's 10 strangers again go to this. They're invited to this home, and they all just start getting killed off one by one as it's revealed their real trauma around them, why they were invited here. One's a killer, the other one's a drug addict, one's a cheater, and they each have their own little story. One of the best novels I ever read, best mystery novel I think ever created. So I thought it would go this route, to this more dark past sort of thing. Everyone's gonna start getting killed off. Maybe instead of it's someone that's killing them, maybe, I don't know. I just thought it'd be more of a vibe like that. But instead, it's if you ever seen Batman the Animated Series episode called Eternal Youth. It's an episode where Bruce gets invited to this health resort, right? And or it's a spa resort, and he denies it and lets Alfred go in his place. Alfred goes, and then he doesn't show up for a while, so Batman starts to investigate it. And it turns out that Poison Ivy's behind it all, and she's turning everyone into trees. It's more like that. It's sort of not as It's sort of anticlimactic so far, and it's more the show's relationship based. It's most of the time we're just interacting with these characters. They're talking to each other. They're going through woods, talking about their past life, just getting to know each other more. Instead of becoming strangers, more friends or acquaintances as they're stuck in this resort. Masha's there trying to give them different exercises, and the 2 other people that work with her. And that's just kind of what the whole show's about. And their trauma and their baggage aren't as interesting as being a killer or a drug addict or a cheater and stuff like that. Even though that's why I want to be careful with what I'm saying. I'm not trying to spoil anything, but by episode 4 it does get a little more interesting in terms of certain characters and their real past coming out into the light. So I hope we get more of that. But from what we've seen so far, with what their past actually is, it just wasn't as interesting for me. And my main draw was really with Masha and her story. Her main draw in her story is that someone's watching her, and she's supposed to be at the head of this whole resort and in charge of everything that's going on. But someone's sending her death threats and taking pictures of her. So someone else is on the resort, they're not supposed to be there. And it's sort of every episode I'm just waiting to see a moment like that to further unravel her story. And everything else was meh to okay. And I think that's sort of just where my main problems lie with the show, is that it's just not as intense, or it doesn't feel as high stakes as I want it to. There's just a lot of downtime in between the episodes of stuff I don't care about. Like there's like a what's that thing called? A potato sack race where they're just like playing this game. Or they have to like go through like an exercise where she's like taking her anger out like on this doll and pretending it's like her husband that cheated on her, and like it's supposed to be like an intense scene, I guess, but like I just didn't care. I'm like, okay, like whatever. Like, can we get into stuff that's like actually dark or creepy, like, or more mysterious? That's what I thought the show was gonna go, down that sort of route. But it never really gets that route until like the end of episode 4. Like I said, when some revelations come out about a certain character's past, we get like the reason of like why Masha is like sort of like the behind the scenes stuff I was talking about the resort, and like there's some like evil undertones to it. That kind of gets revealed in episode 4 with Masha. But like I hope it's not like, I hope there's more to it, because if it's like just the reason she's doing this is like, I don't want to spoil it, but the reason they give you just isn't what I wanted. It just felt like very anticlimactic. So I hope in these last 4 episodes they just reveal more about these characters, make them more interesting, and just bump the intensity up. We got to bump the intensity up. We got to raise the stakes. I think people got to die. If this is a mini series, there's got to be people got to start dying off, right? There's got to be some more to the story than what we got so far. So I think it's really up to that. I think if these 4 episodes go the route that I wanted to, and it gets more creepier and more intense, then I think it could be a show that's really something special and you have to check out. But for right now, just from what I've gotten so far, and like I said, it's just not as intense as I want it. I think it's at like okay to like good. If you want to check it out, by all means, go check it out. Maybe more of your cup of tea than it is mine. But for right now, I don't think it's something like I have to recommend to you guys. I'll do a full review at the end, and hopefully next episode, if you guys want to keep up with me, there's only 4 episodes, so like in 45 minutes each to like 50. And I'm going to talk about each episode after. Yeah, I'm not going to rate these episodes yet. The next episode is when I'll start to rate it, and then obviously I'll rate it by the end of the series. But that's pretty much it. Let me know if you guys are watching, if you're going to go watch it, check it out. Please like the video if you like this. Please let me know any theories you got, and like what's Masha really up to, or maybe what these characters have some hidden agendas too. I always like thinking about those. But like I said, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.